Welcome back, ladies and gents. I hope you're all having an excellent start to your week and ready for the trading week ahead. In tonight's video, we're going to be getting into the Bitcoin charts. As usual, also taking a look at Chainlink and Ethereum. I want to share with you my thoughts on the lower time frames, the high time frames. There's some new factors showing on the charts since yesterday, so we're going to be doing a follow-up, taking a look at these lower time frames, which have some nice setups going on, and we're also going to be focusing on the 1 day as well, as we obviously have new monthly pivots, we have new weekly pivots, so we're going to be getting into all of that in today's video. I hope that you enjoy it. As you guys know, I respect your time and also mine, so we want to get into this straight away here, starting off on the 4-hour time frame. And what we can see here is, if you guys have been watching the videos, we had a very nice setup on the 4-hour time frame. This gave us a higher low with the bullish divergences actually setting in on the RSI and also on our MLM indicator here, as you can see. And this did give us, of course, the hidden bullish divergence, and that was continuation of the trend. That did give us a move from 38,300 all the way up here, about 11.25% to 42,600. So overall, that was a very nice move. And what we can see here is that we do have another drive of hidden bullish divergence, as shown on the MLM indicator here. And of course, we have not set in a local low first. If you are just looking at the MLM indicator here, of course, we did try to set one in on this peak right here. And that was quite a nice move indeed. That was about a 3% move. But we do still have this, continuing down, as you can see. We'd see the same thing on the RSI here as well, some hidden bullish divergence, not confirmed until we confirm a local low as well, which we did set in a local low here. But what's more important is to actually regain resistance. And the important resistance here is, of course, if we are taking a look at the 4-hour mainly, we can see that right here we have the $40,682 region, and that was these highs that we stopped at before going down and then reclaiming that region. So that's where I would want to see short-term regain for the bulls. Of course, right now we are on the weekly pivot, and therefore on the first test of the weekly pivot, as we did have new weekly pivots this morning, that makes for a nice long trade of about 3% thus far. So definitely short-term support right here as well. But what I want to focus on with you all is going on to the 1-day time frame and actually taking a look at what's going on here, because the 1-day stochastic is finally starting to come down. And I slightly spoke about this, I believe, in yesterday's video, and we said that we wanted to see this eventually reset a little bit and come down, because we are all the way at the 90 level. So a pullback here does not mean the end of the current run that the bulls did have. Remember that the bulls did get quite a nice run, multiple days, almost 10 days of just green candles here of about a 43% move with no high lows being set in. Now, high lows and high highs give us a bullish market structure. And as far as the 1 day goes, we have the potential here to set in a higher low. Therefore, this gives us a potential nice longing opportunity coming soon as well. And that would help the oscillator here reset, as well as actually get that higher low that we are looking for here. So the key support here is going to be that monthly pivot at $37,716. As far as the 1 day is concerned, that is our new monthly pivot. As long as we are above there, that is going to be generally good. If you are above or if price action is above the pivot, we are generally looking at this as a bullish bias, and back below, a little bit of a bearish bias here. Now, of course, we do have the daily RSI also testing the moving average here for the first time. So this is good to see this reset also for the next 24 to 48 hours. I really want to watch this one and see where it does end up on the RSI. And our momentum indicator here, that is ultimately still looking all right here. Definitely nothing wrong with that. So what is important is for price action to set in a higher low here. I've gone ahead and actually marked out the the profile levels here, and these are our new monthly market profile levels. So we've got our monthly market profile value area high, and for me, I would like to see that definitely held, because acceptance back into this range, of course, we're going to be looking for at least a move to the point of control and the value area low. So as long as we are above the monthly profile value area high at $35,853, I don't see any major problems with this price action, and of course above above that monthly pivot as well. So big zone here. Of course, we are in a big range, and that makes for some, bigger targets to the downside, and just not bigger targets, but bigger support regions as far as the range is concerned here. So right now, getting some nice support off the 4 hour. Definitely look for the high low to be set in here, and for potentially the hidden bullish divergences to play out here. But that resistance, and if you want to be very conservative with it, 40,600, as we discussed at the start of the video, to $40,763 is the region that will need to be reclaimed very short term for the bulls, for the bullish divergence to really kick in here. We do see on our VIX as well, multiple green bars on the 4 hour. Doesn't mean much here on the 4 hour until we do reclaim resistance, but what it's showing us is basically a market bottom getting close. Now, when is the last time we actually got that? That was on the first kind of drive of this hidden bullish divergence. As you can see right here, 2 consecutive VIX in the green, showing us a market bottom is getting close. That will need to come with a break of resistance and a hold of the shorter time frame support. So remember that we are talking about lower time frames right now, but what I'm more concerned about is the high time frames, such as the 1 day, because that is ultimately where we need to set in that high low for further continuation. Now, if we are going to go on the weekly here as well, of course, we got our first cross since our move to the downside here on the stochastic, confirming a cross up this morning. So I do like that very much. We ended up closing above the horizontal around $38,978. And now we're really backtesting that. So as far as the weekly goes, this is still looking quite good. And as long as support is held, the momentum crossing to the upside, this is usually the bottoming points in the market. But the market structure will have to be regained and held for this to really play out as well. So remember those support regions that we spoke about, anything under there, that does start to look much worse for the bulls. But as long as we are above there, I do hold a slightly bullish bias towards the price action, being very cautious as we, of course, are above and we have rejected the resistances that we have spoke about. So let's go ahead and put this on very quickly. So our high time frame range, let's go do this. So you've heard me speak about this more or less every single day for the past 70, 80 days since we've been in this range. We've got support down here at 29,827. This zone of support back from January 2021. We, of course, have resistance as well. And where is price action actually rejected from? It has rejected from that resistance. So I'm holding a little bit of a bullish bias, but keeping in mind that we have come back to the top of the range. So as long as the range is not broken, that is going to be ultimately the deal breaker, right? We cannot assume that the range is going to break until it does, but we can look for these high lows to be set in to go for some low risk trades inside of the range. So now let's move on to Link USD and Ethereum USD and start to wrap this up, as I would like to get some dinner. And I think I'm getting a little bit sick here, but hopefully not. But taking a look at Link USD, we had a little bit of a zone here on our charts. Where has price action bounced from? It has bounced from that zone once again. And why is this an important zone? Because it is actually our last breakout point from the 7th of July. You can see we found resistance also on the 29th of June. And so once we come back there, after breaking it, we can look for a resistance support flip. So an RS flip, that's already been, a 10% bounce. It's ultimately a nice area to be looking at this. So if we look at the first test, which would be good to be looking at, that's a 15% bounce. So any moves below here is still not the end of the world, as we have our new monthly pivot at 1991. We also have our value area high at 2060. So ultimately, you can see that price action isn't a big area at the moment, and ultimately still holding that. The major resistance point for me is still the anchored VWAP from the highs, as that is where we see this big sell pressure coming in. That's where the institutional sellers are going to be coming into the market, and that is around 26.35. So regaining that's going to be much better for price action based on the 1 day time frame. Ethereum USD now. So taking a look at Ethereum USD, I would like to see a move down to the value area high here, because that would actually be an amazing buying opportunity in my personal opinion. Of course, not financial advice, but we do have the value area high and also the monthly pivot and confluence at $2,269. So holding that is ultimately good. Going for a higher low there is going to be very good as well. Ethereum hasn't really given too many gains back here in comparison to the other coins. but we would still need to see the highs broken for the bulls for further continuation, or a higher low set in somewhere on that monthly pivot as quite a nice opportunity. So I'm going to go ahead and set an alert there and take a look at that as a very nice area. So alert set right above that region. We want to be able to front run those regions as well. So actually we'll take it up a little bit more here, and I do like that very much. So that's really about it here, guys. A little bit rush on the altcoins as I do want to get some dinner, like I said. But going on to the Bitcoin dominance chart, Bitcoin dominance has pulled back from that psychological level just under the 50% region, and I do like to see that, because obviously that is the psychological level that we spoke about. However, right now it's still holding that kind of uptrend that we've had, the higher lows. So as long as we are able to set in these higher lows continuously, and if you look at the value area low here, even if we had a full oscillation off the monthly profile, our new monthly profile, it'd still be a higher low. So as long as Bitcoin is ranging here, that is going to be, and Bitcoin basically ranging and also holding its structure, I think that this is going to continue up until we see more confidence with Bitcoin, and then the Bitcoin pairings can also gain momentum. That is assuming Bitcoin does break the range, which is a big assumption right now, as I already just spoke about. So going on to the dollar index charts, I do want to quickly look at that, as the dollar index did have a nice rejection here actually after moving up a little bit. So this is still holding the downtrend, at least the temporary downtrend. We see a high, a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. But what is going on here is a larger range at play. So if Bitcoin is going to actually pull back here, that is going to be good, because Dixie is getting close to the bottom of the range, and so bouncing from here, of course, we have a negative correlation with Bitcoin, and that would really just make sense to me, because this range is still playing out. Now, breaking this range is when I think Bitcoin would potentially be able to break its range as well to the upside. So breaking this to the downside would mean good things for Bitcoin. Definitely do keep an eye on this one. And if we are to have another rise in this, well, of course, Bitcoin will see some sell pressure as well. So that's about it from me, guys. I hope that you have enjoyed today's video. Go ahead and leave a like on it if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel. I will be answering all of your comments as usual, as much as I can. I do try to read all of them and reply to all of them. So if you have any questions, comment down below. And if you would like to join the private technical analysis group, send me a message on Discord. My username is down below in the description, at the top of the description. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I will catch you in tomorrow's video.